Hello and welcome to the Average FPLers podcast. I'm Russell, and as always, I'm joined by Mike. How we doing?
Ahoy, hoy.
Ahoy. So looking ahead to game week 3. First up, we'll look at the topics we're going to discuss today. We've got a few. So as we're going through our teams, we'll review game week 2 and then reveal our teams and talk about transfers and captaincy. Me and Mike are in the Haaland versus Salah camp, so we'll see how that is going. I've managed to get onto the Fantasy Football Hub this week, so I can look at our AI recommended transfers from there. And I've got a little quiz for Mike, which is father-son Premier League players or duos. So you can start
Yeah,
thinking about that now.
okay.
And then finally, we'll finish with our FPL4 choices for game week 3. So first up is myself this week. So fairly good week for me, 80 points. Green arrow, so I'm up to 965k now. Haaland was my captain, so that was a good choice. That got me 34 points. And Livramento was my low scorer, but that was because he came in for Solanke, who did not play. So yeah, not too bad. My defense is doing quite well this year so far.
Yeah, it's
I
fairly robust.
think a few clean sheets. Missed out on Ariola's clean sheet, unfortunately, but yeah. Apart from that, pretty good. Smith Rowe was a good one.
And no one really saw Ipswich going in front at Man City, did they?
No. Although I did say last week, I said Man City love to give away a silly goal, and yeah, lo and behold,
I didn't disagree,
they
but
did.
I mean, I didn't have any Man City skin in the game at all, thankfully. So that was at least slightly
Yeah, I
pleasurable.
brought Doku in for Kudus, and that didn't work out very well. Got me 2
No, and they
points.
scored 4 goals.
Yeah, I know. So that was unfortunate, but Kudus didn't get any points either, so I didn't miss out. So
He did not.
yeah. But yeah, so looking ahead this week, I've gone early with a transfer.
Oh, he's gone early bird and all that with the worms.
Well, it's a bit annoying because I looked on the hub at who's going to go up and down in price, and it had Solanke going down. So I thought, oh, right, let's get in there early, get rid of him. So I switched him out for João Pedro. And then he's failed to go down in price. And then the
Well,
next day, I noticed Murphy's going down. I thought, do you know what? I'll leave that because it's not accurate. And what happens? He goes down in price. I was like, oh, well, that's great, isn't it?
so
Fantastic.
Solanke's is because when they get injured, they get locked, right? Price locked for a brief amount of time. So that's Solanke's, but he probably will go down before the deadline. So tonight, maybe tomorrow night, but
Right.
there will be a price drop. Murphy, unfortunately, wasn't injured. He's just not. I mean, he looked bad against Bournemouth, if we're being honest.
Yeah,
And
he's
that
definitely a player I
probably
need to
cost
get
him.
rid of.
It's probably cost him his spot for the next game, which is
Yeah.
unfortunate because the first game was out of his hands, really, because Newcastle had a sending off. This one, he had a bit of a bad one. I don't think he's going to get a third chance to play there, especially after how better they looked when Harvey Barnes came on. I mean, they managed to draw in the end.
hmm
They didn't look like they were going to manage that for the first 70 odd minutes. So
No, true. Although Eddie Howe's not done very well against old club, has he? They said.
no, the Newcastle have been slow starting this season. There's issues at the fullback positions, both sides, in terms of what's working, what's not.
hmm
There's a few issues in the attack with what's working, what's not, and then they've got 1 or 2 injuries as well. I don't think they've dipped into the market for any They haven't got all the players they wanted before deadline. I think the only one they're going to get at this point is, if they do at all, is Mark Gay.
Hmm.
I'd be amazed if Palace lets him go though, because they've started so badly after selling so many players. Selling both centre backs within a week of one another is almost relegation suicide.
Hmm. Yeah, it's not ideal. So.
I get why they sold Anderson, because he was in the last year of his contract, I believe, and they wanted to get as much money from him as possible. Fair enough.
Mhm.
He's 29, but Gay isn't in the last year of his contract. They made him the captain at the start of the season. So that, what, 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, and
Hmm.
then they're going to sell him tomorrow on the deadline. It's it's not good.
Is the
And then
deadline tomorrow?
yeah, the deadline's
Is it?
tomorrow. So I made the mistake of, I thought it'd be a few days after
Hmm.
the thingy, but actually it's a few days before the end of the month.
Ah.
So tomorrow, I assume at 11 p.m., maybe midnight.
Yep. Yeah, okay. Oh, that's
But there
interesting.
are a lot of movement is happening as we speak in terms of outs and ins. Palace have moved to have the Qua come over from Wolfsburg, who plays at centre back. He used to play at centre back with Mickey van der Ven. Now he's
Mhm.
quality as a centre back, but if you sell Mark Gay, he's going to be a player in the league on his own with another new centre back. And
Hmm.
Todibo, Jean-Claire Todibo, who's just joined West Ham. He's great. Started slow because they keep bringing him on for just a couple of minutes here and there in the league. He played yesterday for West Ham. He managed first 45 minutes, got booked, and he got hooked because he was having a bit of a nightmare.
Hmm.
So,
Mhm.
and that's my apprehension with Crystal Palace potentially having two new centre backs if they let Gay go, and they've already started badly, Palace. But they might have had Nketiah by tomorrow.
Yeah, have they started that badly? I'm trying to figure out what they've done.
They lost to West Ham at home
Oh yeah,
a few days ago.
they win the first game. I think they did.
No, they did not.
Oh. Oh.
They played Brentford in the first game, I believe. It was 1-1. No, they lost 2-1. Lost 2-1 to
Ah.
Brentford away, and then they were at home to. They were away to Crystal Palace. One, they lost that 2-0.
Mhm. Okay, so yeah, they have started badly then. So yeah,
Yeah, sorry, they were away to Brentford, and then they were home to West Ham.
yeah.
And their next game is Chelsea, who obviously just put
Mm.
6 past thingy.
Yeah. So it could be
Yeah.
interesting then.
So I'm slightly concerned with Palace. They've lost a few players. Their defense is a bit shaky because it's being sold. Kamada had a rough one, so he didn't start the second game. And Nketiah, it will be a good signing, but is it what they need right now? I don't know, unless they think Mateta's going to be out the door or Edouard's out the door.
Maybe.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of moving parts to Palace, which are concerning.
Mm. Well, they've got 24 hours to do some business, so see what they do.
You know? So you went early, and who
Probably
did
not
you
much.
get? Because you said you didn't do Murphy.
Joe Pedro.
João Pedro.
Mm.
Well, you'll be happy to know that Brighton did more business this week.
Mhm.
They signed Matt O'Reilly from Celtic, who I absolutely adore. And
Mm.
O'Reilly got injured within the first 3-4 minutes of the Carabao Cup this day.
Oh,
He
that's
needs
good.
surgery,
Oh,
so he's
great.
going to be out for quite some time. And I think that's going to end Billy Gilmore leaving Brighton as well now.
Mm.
But they are bringing someone else in, I believe, as well. I can't remember the name; it's eluded me now. But they was concerned it was going to make João Pedro
Right.
minutes a bit more of a risk.
Yeah, it was. Um, it's not a long term one. It was more downgrading, so he was fairly cheap. So it gives me a bit more money. So if I sell Murphy, I can get up to a 7.9 million midfielder. Um,
7.9.
so that ain't too bad. So I've put some potential ones down there, which is Rogers from Villa,
Definitely don't need that
Madueke
much money.
from Chelsea, Mitoma, or Gordon.
Lovely, lovely Gordon.
And I think that's slightly based on fixtures that they've got coming up. But yeah, Matoma looks really good at the moment. Obviously, Madueke had a great game week 2. Rogers looked really good against Arsenal. Just seemed to just run through the Arsenal midfield several times. It was very annoying. So
Yes. I mean, Watkins should have scored 2, so
yeah, yeah,
that was not fun.
yeah. So I'm tempted, but I really don't want to take the -4 hit.
No,
And
you
I've
don't need to, right?
and I think that's partly to do with the new ruling, like the whole banking your transfers and getting up to 5. So I'm like, I really don't need to take hits this year, and I really don't want to.
Well,
So
I can relieve you somewhat. Last week, people took -4s to transfer Palmer out to go to a different midfielder, like Foden, because they
oh
were
dear,
playing Ipswich. Foden
oh
didn't
dear,
play, and Palmer got what was, a bucket full of returns.
17 points he got.
There you go.
Yeah,
And this week, some people are taking hits to get certain players in, like Palmer to get in, and they're taking Saka out for -4s, which I still think's lunacy, but
mm.
each their own, right?
It's a tough fixture, Brian. Obviously they've
But it's
started well,
Brighton at
so
home. But to take a -4 to get Palmer, that means Palmer has to get at least one return just to match
yeah,
Saka blanking, you
and
know? And
that's
then it
what I
means
mean.
you've
If I
killed
do
a
make a
transfer.
transfer, I've got to make it worthwhile to make up those 4 points and some.
Hmm.
So I don't think it's worth it. So I think I'm going to hold off and
But I
just
can
go
tell
with
you
what I've
for
got.
this, Madueke played over an hour this afternoon, this early evening for Chelsea away at Servette in the Conference League qualifying, and he didn't get anything. And he was substituted.
Yeah.
Chelsea lost 2-1.
Oh, okay. I was just going to say, even though Chelsea did well last week, there's still question marks over them because they could come and have a bit of a stinker this
Well,
week.
Wolves
So
were in the game until what, 55th, 56th minute, and
yeah,
then they just collapsed in 17 minutes. And then when 1 or 2 went in, they just was like, ah, well, it's over
yeah.
now anyway. Let's just let them have fun, lads.
Hmm.
So the ship 6, when it was 0-0, I think it was 0-0. Oh no, it's 2-2 at half time, wasn't
2
it?
or half time. Yeah,
Yeah. So it's ship 4, sorry, but 6 in total. It's
yeah.
quite a lot.
Mm,
Um, and I'm still not in any sort of overwhelming need to bound to Chelsea just yet. But if they were good
no.
going into the international break, you'd probably go, okay, I need them for 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, but I think I'd still rather see one more week just to see if it's going to be consistent or not. So
Yeah, well, another option, which I don't think you need to take, but quite a few people are, is they are wild carding. So they take the transfer that they have
mm,
into, because you carry your transfers now, right? So
true.
some people are wild carding, carrying their transfers over and getting in players that they need or want, I guess, such as Palmer.
Yeah. Although, yeah, I don't think I need to wildcard yet.
No,
I think
not in
the rest,
900k after 2 game weeks.
yeah, the rest of my team's fine. It's just Murphy really that's the problem, and yeah. So
But
yeah,
you know,
that can wait till next. And obviously it's international break, isn't it? So part of me thinks, what, wait, come back after the international break, and then see where we go from there.
you could always switch your bench order if you are worried. I mean, if you're worried about Murphy and Livermore, just put Mitchell bench one.
Uh, nah, nah. I'd rather go. We just talked about Palace having a bad start, so I think I'd rather go
I
Murphy,
didn't say they were.
Livramento,
Yeah,
Mitchell.
I didn't say they were better picks. I know Mitchell's probably going to play the full 90 as opposed to the other two. I
Hmm.
think Murphy's place is questionable whether he starts, and Livramento is possibly the same because Trippier played midweek, was okay, retired from international duty today as well, Trippier. So,
yeah,
and it doesn't look like he's getting that move to Everton.
no.
So maybe Livramento's position is under a bit of peril.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean, I probably won't get any of them on anyway, so it doesn't overly matter. But
No, I would be surprised if you did have one come in for the team that you've got. The only caveat I should slightly mention is apparently there was a slight foot injury to Isak, but he did finish the full 90 and then go into the penalty shootout. So
okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I don't think I need to panic or anything. So I think I can go with it.
no, unless you were worried about losing a fair amount of value on a player, for example.
Yeah, well, I think I've missed that boat on Murphy now. So yeah, if I'd managed to get it before he'd gone down, then maybe it would have been worth it. But now I've already lost that, so
Yeah.
no point. But yeah, and Haaland, captain, probably. I think.
Or West Ham away.
Yeah.
Not the worst pick.
Yeah, I think it's the best one there.
Who
Well,
you got?
he's coming off the back of a hat trick, so I mean,
Yeah, so there is
he
some
probably is the
bias.
best one there. Yeah.
Yeah, well, unless you were feeling a bit saucy, then Semenyo to Everton would possibly be another good one because if Everton have still only got
Yeah.
14 fit players,
True.
I mean, and they look
And
horrid against Tottenham.
Smith Rowe could be a good shout, but then he's not been getting 90. I think they're still getting
He's
him
been
up to
coming off.
speed.
He played early 60 odd minutes first game. Second game, I think he got to nearly 70 minutes and then hooked. It's going to take time for him, yeah. But he still looked great.
That was a great
Well,
goal he scored.
Yeah, it was. Ipswich went out in the Carabao as well midweek to penalties to Wimbledon, I think.
Yep, that
It
rings a
was
bell.
it was unexpected. I know that.
That happens a lot, though, with newly promoted teams, doesn't it? I think.
It does because I guess a lot of the squad players that play in that are new signings or just guys that could be on their way out. Still, though, it's not a hugely encouraging sign that they couldn't keep the scoreline down against Wimbledon.
No, but they've looked okay. They've had 2 tough fixtures, Ipswich. So
I mean, yeah, their fixtures have been ridiculous.
yeah.
They've done.
So in a
They've
way,
done
this
themselves
is their
okay.
first game that they may be looking and going, we could get something. This is where
We
our
should
season
be
starts.
trying to.
So,
Yeah, we should be trying to get a draw or a win. Not, oh, we're going to get tanked 4-0 again.
Yeah.
So
Probably the promoted clubs, Southampton, at the moment look the worst.
they're bad in the attacking sense. Yes, they're okay everywhere else. Plus, they just signed Ramsdale, so that should shore up the goalkeepers because McCarthy's terrible.
Yeah, that'd be good. Could help.
Yeah. Well, it'll keep them more defensively solid, but they still need a player to absolutely bury it.
Yeah, I think they're doing well with possession, but not really creating much. So, yeah, they need something.
Against Nottingham Forest, they were the home side and they had 5 shots on target, and Nottingham Forest had or it might be 5 shots total. I think Nottingham Forest had like 23 plus. That's not good.
No,
that's not good. That
but their possession was much higher. So that's what I mean. They were keeping the ball. They just weren't doing anything with it.
Yeah, exactly. They need a number 9 of sorts That's why I'm surprised they didn't make
Yeah.
a shot for Nketiah, really. I mean, Ramsdale's great. Nketiah would have been another good one. He'd playing there solidly. He'd be week in, week out. They're number one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unless they're going to do something really audacious and go and get Danny Ings or something.
Maybe. Yeah. Mm. Well, we'll see. They've got some time as well, so see what they do.
There's a lot of moving parts and moving transfers that are going all over the place at the moment. As much as we're recording on the Thursday evening,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the one that I've just read that come in 20 minutes ago is that Arsenal might try and sign Neto, the Bournemouth goalkeeper. So,
Okay.
and obviously Kepa is probably going to be Bournemouth's number one goalkeeper because they just signed him on loan.
Oh yeah, I see that. Yeah.
Just keepers and strikers and midfielders are all bouncing all over the place. So
Yeah.
obviously Chelsea have got 36 hours, so that's still enough to get another 7.5 players.
True. Yeah. Yeah. Sterling to Man U, was it? But someone said Sancho might come the other way.
Yeah, it's a swap
So,
deal allegedly.
yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen with that one, if it's going to happen. There was another one that Sterling got linked with Palace. I see that.
Mm.
And then Sancho's been linked with a loan, I think, to you. I think it was Juventus. I think it was a team definitely out of the country as well.
Mm.
So that could go either way.
Mm.
Um, I guess it would solve two problems. Well, it solves one problem. Man United with Sancho, and they'd get a really
Yeah.
experienced attacker in Sterling because they got Garnacho and Ahmed Diallo. But Chelsea need to get rid of players. They don't need to bring more in. They haven't got enough slots. So
No, I mean, why are they doing a swap? It's
that's what I'm
ridiculous.
saying. It would be a bit silly
Yeah.
because they can't give Sterling a spot because they got no spots. So to bring Sancho in and go, anyway, son, how do you fancy about playing just in the Carabao Cup and maybe the FA Cup?
Yeah.
Um,
Madness.
it's the tricky one.
Yeah. Well, talking about transfers, have a look at what the hub recommended my transfer should be this week. So I don't
Before
know
you
if
make it.
I don't know if it's taken into account that I've already made one.
Mhm.
But it's telling me to go from Doku to Eze, which I'm not really on board with that one.
I see. Um, Palace have been bad, but Eze's been
Eze's been
okay,
good. Yeah, that is
and
fair.
Eze takes penalties. So the hub is looking at that as he's a 90-minute man. It's on penalties,
Yeah.
and their fixtures are not too sad over the next couple, I believe.
Mm.
Whereas Doku's minutes could become a bit sketchy once Foden's back, which he will be after the internationals, and when Champions League starts, which also kicks off after the internationals.
Oh, they're a bit up and down. Palace's fixtures: Chelsea, Leicester, Man U, Everton, Liverpool, and then Forest and Tottenham. So it's very much
So Chelsea and Leicester are
up
not
and
bad.
down.
Man U, it could go either way.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are some winnable games in there, and there's some ones that they could absolutely shock people.
Hmm.
So the one thing that you know with that Eze is he'll play if he's fit 90 in every single one of them.
Yeah.
So that's why I think that's also factored in.
I
And I
did
think he's it.
at the start of the season. I did like the idea of it, but because they lost to Lise, Mateta wasn't back. Yeah, it just put me off. Otherwise, I probably would have gone there. But yeah,
Yeah, once they were missing two of their trio, I was like, nah, I'll skip it for now.
maybe once the transfer window's shut and they're settled, and if they start playing well, then yeah, Eze would be
Maybe
a good
if
pick.
Mateta finds his feet
Hmm.
quickly,
I'd love to have
if
him. Yeah.
if Mateta and Nketiah play together in an
Mm.
attacking lineup, you never know. There could be surprises. I mean, as much as it feels like the prices have been good this year, it does feel at the moment Mateta might be slightly overpriced compared to
Mm.
everyone else.
How much is it?
I think it's 7.75.
Hmm.
It's a little bit expensive for
Yeah.
Mateta.
Yeah.
6.5 probably would have been about fair because he's coming back late as well from the Olympics.
Yeah.
So maybe we're wrong, and he has
Maybe.
Stormer after internationals.
I think he played last week though. I think he's come back.
Oh, he's been playing. He's
Yeah.
back. But it's going to take some of those lads some time to get into the rhythm again. And secondly, some of them they still need the kid gloves, sort of slow treatment to get back into it. I think he was only rushed into the Palace second game
Mm-hmm.
because they were so bad in the first one.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But yeah, so yeah, I don't think I'm going to be going with the recommended transfer. Let's say. I think
Boom.
the options I came up with on the previous Rogers, Matoma, Madueke, or Gordon would be my above Eze as choices. So. And
Well, there you go.
I don't think I'd sell Doku this week either. I'd be selling Murphy. So
Yeah, well, Murphy's
yeah,
the more pressing issue, right? So
yeah. But I'm sure it's going to prove me wrong, and Eze's going to do really well, and Doku will get nothing, and I'll have egg on my
well,
face. So
Eze did have a goal disallowed in the first game, right? That should have stood the free kick. I'm
oh yeah,
pretty
the
sure
freak.
you referenced it.
Yeah.
So they, yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if he got a return this week, like Bowen got a return last week, and
Mm-hmm.
some people had wrote him off a bit too prematurely.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you mean you have one bad game week, and everyone's like, "Oh no, you're rubbish."
Well, I mean, it's as much as you're jesting, it is quite funny how many people are knee jerking so hard. It's causing other people to go, oh, I'm
Ah,
going to actually have to make my move now because I may be priced out or
yeah.
of unable to make the moves I want to make. So it is genuinely
I'm
it's
laughing.
quite weird.
It's the mistakes I used to always make, but now I'm a bit calmer and a bit more like,
Yeah, but it's
let's
not.
give it a couple of weeks first.
But at the same time, you're on the outside looking in as opposed to in that rigmarole at the moment, which is the other good thing, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you're not going, oh well, Palmer had a good one. I better get Palmer because I can't afford him. Otherwise,
Yeah, and
which is
then
what a
doing
lot of
like,
people are taking -4s for.
yeah, yeah, no, no.
So it just
I
it
think
it,
with
it
the new transfer system, I think you got to be a bit more patient this year. I think,
I mean, I get
but we'll
it.
see.
If you're absolutely certain a player's not going to play midweek and
Yeah.
you think he'll be fit by the following week, you probably can go early and pick up the price, the rise and be happy enough.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're wrong, you're going to be either having to use your wild card in a week you probably wasn't going to use it, or you're going to have to sit there and just have a really pouty face because you made a bit of a silly mistake, kind of thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
But at least it's not us making those mistakes. It's other people this year for
People.
now, anyway.
Yeah.
Give it till Christmas, and then I'm sure, yeah,
Oh
squeaky
yeah.
on time start beginning the itchy fingers to pull the trigger on early transfers.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I did go early this week, but I was trying to be sensible, miss a price drop, but yeah, didn't work out. So,
It did not.
right.
Have you got any more transfers? Did you just use one of two, or I don't know. I can't remember if you used a transfer the week before.
Yeah, I used one the week before. Doku.
Okay. Oh yeah, of course you did. Sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, I only had one this week, and I've
Mm,
done um Solanke out for Jao Pedro.
João Pedro.
So yeah, we'll see. That's more like I said. That's more of a builder one. That gives me a bit more money in the kitty. So
I mean, you won't feel as bad benching João Pedro is 5.5 than you would say an 8 million midfielder.
yeah, yeah. yeah, I think I'm alright. I don't think I'm even. Yeah, well, Murphy maybe. I'll think about it, but probably not. Probably not. But we'll see.
I mean, it makes sense though, right? I mean, like I said, at night to be, doesn't feel like it's high up, but 900k this early, and
Hmm.
you don't need to take a hit or press the wild card or anything else. That's good
Mm-hmm.
because it's a solid foundation. So I wouldn't be too panicked. Plus, you also have Haaland, who's had 2 price rises now, so it's almost
Right.
impossible for me to get him.
Okay.
Because it was bad enough at 15 and 15.2,
Yeah.
I would have to do a lot of surgery, and I'd have to cut a lot more than I was previously going to cut. So
Yeah. But luckily,
look,
it brings us on to the Haaland Salah competition. We might as well look at your team.
yes,
Because obviously Salah is keeping up with Haaland to a degree. So,
that they've made the exact same total over the 2 weeks, 24 points.
oh, there you go, yeah. So, yeah, Salah got 10 points this week, but you had him captain, so that got you 20 points.
Hmm.
Um,
He
so
was
yeah,
my best scorer this week, along with Smith Rowe. So
Smith
Smith Rowe
Rowe
scored.
and Gordon. Yeah.
So all of my defense, my goalkeeper, and all of my midfield returned, and then my
Hmm.
strikers were rank shite.
Yeah. Yeah,
Isaac should have got something,
Muniz,
didn't.
Watkins, and Isak too. They're all your low scorers. So,
Yeah, Isaac should have scored, didn't. Muniz was okay, should have scored, didn't. Watkins should have had 2
yep,
and didn't. And
yep,
so at least the only positive from that is that they scored more than anything that was on my bench. So I'll take it.
indeed. Yeah. So,
But yeah, it was looking a bit bleak after the first initial games because Man City played on Saturday, and Haaland captainers or triple captainers were on like 70 to 90 points, and I was on about 24 going
mm,
into Sunday. And then I had Salah, Gordon, Isak, and Alexander Arnold,
yeah.
and so I made a little steadfast catching up. And then once the all the games on Sunday had ended, I got for some reason an extra bonus added to Robinson. Some other players got adjusted as well. So I wasn't
Right.
arguing. I was like, I'll take that, run that all the way to the bank. So
Hmm.
I only finished 2 points less than you did this week. And I could
Yep.
not have physically got any closer because any of the 3 captains I possibly would have chosen would have been the 3 players that got 10 points each. So I could have only got
Yeah.
even less if I'd picked wrong.
If you picked
So
one of your top scorers, then that's the best you can do. So, yeah.
yeah, and I was slightly disappointed because Salah, sorry, got hooked,
Hmm.
and he looked close to scoring the second. And if he'd scored the second, Liverpool would have won 3-0, and the guy that was playing Super Six would have won £1 million. But he
Oh,
didn't
really?
because yeah, he needed Liverpool to win 3-0, and
Oh.
they only won 2-0. He'd got all the other scores right, all of
Uh,
them.
I've been there. I feel his pain.
Yeah,
Yep.
I was genuinely gutted for him,
Mm.
and I don't think you get anything even for getting that close, like 2-0. So.
Well, I didn't. So
Uh-uh.
I was hoping I might get some kind of sympathy thing, but I did not. So,
No, I don't think this guy did either.
yeah.
So that was unfortunate.
It's because they have done it in the past
They
where
have, yeah.
someone's been really
Someone's gone
close and
so close. Yeah.
they've given them something, but it looks like they don't do that anymore.
No, they don't
So,
even do Sky Fantasy anymore, fantasy football. So
oh, do they not?
chopping all of. No, they stopped doing it.
Oh, I did not know. Well, I didn't sign up this year, so
Well, you wouldn't have been able to even if you tried.
oh, there you go. Oh
So
well.
yeah. That said, 2-0 win to Liverpool. Alexander Arnold got to keep his clean sheet. That was good. Salah got to keep his clean sheet points. That was good. Salah got 2 bonus because Diaz took all 3. Yeah,
Mm.
77 points. It'll do. I was happy enough. I'm not doing rotating goalkeepers this season for now anyway. So Areola got 6 points, which was unexpected away to Crystal Palace, but I shall take it. Especially as going into the next game week, West Ham are playing Manchester City. So I'm not expecting a clean sheet for Areola.
Save points, maybe.
No, if you want save points at the moment, it's McCarthy. Not that he's going to be number one for much longer, but I think he's on I think he got 3-4 save points in the Southampton Forest game.
Well, West Ham will probably keep a clean sheet in this one or win, just to wind Arsenal fans up because they couldn't do it at the end of last season.
Well, it would be nice because then it would mean Haaland had a shitter this week, and I've got Salah.
That's true. Yeah, that would.
Anyway.
It'd be doubly bad for me then, I guess.
Yes.
Although I'd enjoy seeing Man City lose. So.
Exactly. So I'll run through my team because I forgot it was sitting there. And it's Areola in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Pedro Porro, Robinson, Saka and Mbumo, Salah, who's currently captain, Gordon, and then Muniz, Watkins, and Isak. Yes, I really am running with all three again. And my bench is Fabianski, Smith Rowe, Hall, and Okoli. So I only have
benching Smith Rowe.
I've got to bench someone. Who do I bench?
True. Who would you bench?
There you go. I'm not benching Saka at home to Brighton. I'm not benching Mbumo at home to Southampton. Salah away to Man United is no. Gordon and Isak, last time they played Tottenham at home, didn't they put 4 or 5 past them? They got 10 goals against us last season. So you probably don't drop them two.
I think
Watkins is playing Leicester.
Muniz. I think that's
well. That's the debate whether to bench Muniz or Smith Rowe. The only thing that's gearing me into playing the way I've got it is that Muniz got better overall stats last week, even though Smith Rowe is the one who scored.
Yeah.
So, but there's not much in it, and I reserve the right to change my mind on that as a final.
I guess that's allowed.
Yeah, well, I don't tend to put the little padlock key and go, oh, I'm locked, and then change my team and go, oh, I wasn't really locked, I was lying. So
I only put that on when I am locked. I literally do it.
No, I know.
It, done.
But when you're scrolling through social media, you see people say that, and then they definitely change it moments later, and you go, well, you weren't locked then, lads, you know? So it's that one will go all the way. I genuinely don't know which of the two. If Isak does have an injury and he's out, that makes my life easier.
Yeah, he just gets.
It makes Gordon,
and that's fine.
Exactly, it makes Gordon a shitter option, or maybe it doesn't because he plays number 9 against Tottenham.
Maybe. Yeah.
But that would take the decision making out of my hands. The only positive sort of spin I've got in the way my team's currently set up is at least I've got a strong bench 1 option, providing it's one of my attackers that is missing. If one of my defenders misses out, I don't have a good option on the bench because Hall lost his spot in the second game. He was really, really good in the Carabao Cup though, and he should have scored, so he might get that position back. And Okoli hasn't started yet, so those are things that now the season's up and running and going, I can move things around once the window's shut. But there's no pressing issue per se. I mean, if for example Hall got his position back this weekend against Tottenham and he had a good game, then there's a strong chance he possibly would start the next one after the international break. So I don't need to knee jerk it. You know? And Okoli's owned by 0.02% or 0.2, something like that. Hardly anyone owns him. So it's going to require a lot of people to sell him for me to lose any value on the lad. So I will be content for now. At least
Yeah,
I didn't go Barco.
you love to have a player on your bench that doesn't play, so
I
it's
do. Normally a
just
striker, though.
going with the theme. So yeah, it's normally a striker.
It is normally a striker, and it's normally someone that gets loaned out. So then their price is
Yeah, last
you
year
know,
it was the West Ham player, weren't it? The
yeah,
forward.
Mubama,
Yeah,
who's
that's
now
it.
joined Manchester City.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh, that makes
so,
perfect sense.
so
Yeah.
his contract expired. Man City signed him because they think he's got a strong future in as a professional. And I think West Ham are getting, I think 1.5 million through arbitration, something like that. And probably a bit on as a sell on. But yeah, that was Mubama last year, and in the 2 previous years before that was Vassila for Aston Villa.
Mm.
So yes, I do genuinely enjoy a cheap striker, so cheap that he is no longer at the club or not really viable. I think there were a couple of
Yeah,
options this
well,
year. It's just
it does make sense. It's the most expensive position, isn't it? So,
the most expensive position, and unless you're picking an actual goal scorer,
mm,
Haaland, it's not one that's going to yield you as many points as a solid midfielder.
yeah,
So
yeah.
the only
That
reason that I'm
that's why I'm gearing. That's why I downgraded to Pedro, so I can strengthen my midfield. So ideally, I want to play 3-5-2 every week. So,
so that was my original plan. I was going to roll the transfer last week and then roll the transfer this week. But last week, Solanke was confirmed out, so I
mhm,
had to lose him.
mhm,
I had 1.5 million in the bank, which meant I could go Solanke to Watkins, which would have been my only move this week. I would have done Isak to Watkins. So I've obviously sort of gone early, lost Solanke, and I've managed to keep Isak, even though Isak's not doing very well
yeah,
for now.
yeah.
Um, is that the wrong move? I don't know. But I'm in the position where if I actually do roll the transfer this week, I'll have 2 after the international break. And if I pick up
Mm,
any inexplicable injuries from international duty, I will have 2 transfers to be a bit more flexible and move around. And if I'm still not satisfied with Isak by next week or next game week, I can sell him. I could even do what you've done, make about 3 million,
mhm,
or I could, just go Isak to back to Solanke.
yeah. Actually, your midfield's fairly strong.
It will be,
So,
won't it? Because I've got an extra 2.5 million
so I
from
guess
having Salah instead of Haaland.
where you can potentially strengthen is another defender just to back up the three you've got on. But
Yes, I mean,
but
if
then,
I was
like you
going to
said,
do,
if Hall gets his position back, then you're
there's
okay,
no need
really.
to in the short term, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not a pressing issue this week unless one of them's confirmed out injured, one of the starting 3. It's not great that all my starting defenders are away, and it's not
Mm,
great that my starting goalkeeper is against the best team in the league.
mm,
But I do have the fortune of having Mbumo, who is currently being bandied around by quite a lot of people who need to get rid of players like Bruno Fernandes. So,
mhm.
and obviously with Ivan Toney looking more likely than not to leave by tomorrow, that probably makes Mbumo the penalty taker.
True.
And
Yeah.
they are missing Thiago, the player they signed to replace Mbumo because he got injured, unfortunately. So I can't see Vissa leaving. There's rumours Vissa might join Wolves, but I think they'd be mad to sell Vissa
Mm,
and Tony on the Friday. So I imagine the starting front line will be Shada, Vissa, Tony, uh, Vissa, and Mbuma.
yeah.
Shada obviously hasn't been starting at the moment, but Vissa and
Yeah.
Mbuma when they're together are great. So
Yeah. Well, they did
I'm
great
and
last season, didn't they, without Tony? So yeah,
yeah,
so I
and
think they'll be fine.
they were good the first game as well.
Yeah.
And I wasn't afraid. The thing with Mbumo, I know he's 7 million, but if I think the fixture's too difficult, like Liverpool last week, just bench him. and then he picked up a needless yellow card for a petulant tackle. So meant he only got 1 point, so that was a decision well made, kind of thing.
Yeah,
And I think their next fixture for next week after Southampton's a little difficult, but
Man
I
City.
just won't. There you go.
Yeah.
I'll bench him. I'll bench him. Smith Rowe, I think's got Leicester, or no, they've got not Leicester. They forward
West
played Leicester.
Ham
West Ham. I'll
Yep.
play him against West Ham.
At home. So
Yeah, Fulham at home to West Ham is fine. Or if not, I can make one of those transfers that I said to you about, like Hall to a 4.5 defender. So
yeah.
yeah, I'm sort of semi okay right now.
Yeah.
I'm same as you. I'm only making transfers unless if they're enforced. So either injuries or I made any one based on price drops yet, but I've not had one thus far. Isak's the most likely, but I don't think that would even convince me to sell him because of a price drop. Because
No, there's
Watkins looked
always
like he was.
a good chance, and
Yeah, well, last week
Newcastle's fixtures are okay.
they're fine.
Yeah,
It's just they've started slow.
yeah, but
But
they've got Wolves after the international break, and well, they just shipped 6, so
yeah,
that could be good.
but they might sign Gay. Trippier may stay and then play in that back line. You know, Wilson might be back, so they can play Wilson or Isak. It might be they just start Gordon and Harvey Barnes, and so Isak's got more opportunities to take shots because there's more chance of being created.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried, not yet anyway. And I want to, like I said, after the window because of any potential injuries, or maybe there's a new signing that I go, yeah, maybe I'll take a little gamble on.
Maybe.
So
I'll show you. I'll show you what the hub recommended you. Well,
yeah,
actually, it recommends you to bank a transfer. So actually, you are doing what it's telling you. But its
well
return
done.
option is to get rid of Mbeumo and bring in Eze. So for some reason, they love Eze this year.
Like I said, because Eze's on penalties and he's placed 90, but the hub can only go on what it has in terms of information now, and that information is that Tony still plays for Brentford.
Yeah.
I imagine if Brentford sold Tony a couple of days ago, the hub would have updated and made Mbeumo a much more better option. Although admittedly, he is playing Man City after the international break. So
yeah, and then Tottenham after that as well. So
Tottenham, I don't mind
both
because
away.
they scored a couple against Spurs last season, so I'm not worried.
Yeah.
But Man City would be the one where I'm comfortable benching him. And as you can see, I've got a headache this week, so I'm not concerned per se.
Yeah.
Plus, obviously, I can get to, I think it's the 5 or 6. It might be 6. I think that's when Arsenal's fixtures start to turn. Because everyone's selling Saka in 5 because that's Tottenham versus Arsenal. Or maybe that's game week 6. I know Tottenham versus Arsenal's coming up.
Yes, it is. Game week 4. It's the next week.
Game week 4.
Yeah.
So from game week 5 onwards, Arsenal's fixtures are quite tasty. So everyone's saying, "I'll get rid of Saka now." And I was like, "I'm not getting rid of Saka against Tottenham. Are you out of your mind?" So yeah, I'm comfortable. And obviously, if he keeps going up in price because people are knee jerking so heavily, looks like I won't be able to own Haaland anyway. So we'll be on completely different setups, completely different paths. I mean, your lower midfielder is Semenyo, who's doing good. Mine's Mbeumo, who's doing good. So you don't have Watkins, you don't have Muniz, I don't think, do you?
No.
I think you've got Alexander Arnold and Porro, right? I think that's the only 2 that you might have.
Yeah.
So in your starting 11, we've only got 2 the same, so we've got 9 different. So it's quite different this year. We're not all just got the same 8 players and we got 3 random picks that we go, they were bad this week. So yeah, looking forward to it. You've gone dramatically quiet.
So I got distracted. I'm preparing. I was preparing the next slide because I'm not going to bring it up because
Okay,
it's quiz time for you
it's
to
quiz
uh,
time.
to try and name the father-son duos that have played in the Premier League.
Okay, they not have to play for the same teams, right?
No, just the father played in the Premier League and the son did.
Well, both the Haaland, Alfie Inga, and
Yeah.
obviously Thingy,
Yep.
and then you've got the Schmeichels.
Yep.
Then you got the Alex Bruce and Steve Bruce should have,
Oh yeah, that's a good
because
one.
Alex played for Hull, right?
Oh, I don't.
Oh,
I don't have who they played for. I needed to get
that's
that.
fine.
But Alex Bruce
Uh,
played 48 games. I've got that.
yeah, Alex Bruce played for Hull, and Steve
Right.
Bruce played for Thing, because Alex Bruce might have been in the Hull team that played the FA Cup final against Arsenal. I know Paul Ince and Tom Ince.
Yep.
Oh, Ian Wright, Sean Wright Phillips. I think Bradley Wright Phillips may have played in the Premier League as well, right? So
Yep. Both of them.
Jack Cork and Alan Cork, because I always see the mean picture of Alan Cork at the same age as his son, like 25 years ago, and he was like a bald guy, looked about 57.
Mhm.
Uh, Gordon Strachan and Gavin Strachan.
Oh yeah.
Gavin Strachan played for Coventry, and Gordon played for Leeds and Coventry. It's the only reason I remember that one.
So I knew
Uh,
you'd be good at this. That's why I thought I'd do it.
did
You did
Rob Lee
did a lot better than me.
did Rob Lee's son play in the Elliot Lee, right? Elliot Lee plays for Wrexham as we speak, doesn't he? I
Yep.
think.
Yep. You're right.
And did they
Yep.
both play in the Premier League? Elliot Lee must have only made like substitute appearances, but it would have both been for Newcastle, probably.
Two. Elliot Lee made
Yeah.
2 appearances.
Yeah. And
So
I only
that is
remember.
a good one to get.
Yeah.
That's one. There's a few others that are really low with two, but yeah.
The only other one I can think of, I think it's because they might have both played for West Ham, is the Potts. Steve Potts, did his son play? Because I know his son was in the youth team.
Oh, yep. Potts. That's there. Yep.
Dan Potts, I think, played for West Ham in the.
That's
Well, I
another
made
good
a
one as
substitute.
well. Dan Potts is only 2 appearances.
I was going to say it would have been substitute appearances, but I think he plays in the lower leagues now.
Yep.
Um, and then I may have drained the well of knowledge.
You've done well.
uh,
You've got how many have you got? One, two. Technically, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You've got.
so I got all of them.
Oh no, there's more.
Oh, okay.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
Christ,
11,
that is a lot, isn't it?
12 more. 12 more that you're missing.
Oh, 12 more. Oh, I'm not going to be able to get on my club either because you haven't told me.
One of them was Chelsea and Bournemouth. I could tell you that one. But that's an
Oh.
obvious one. You'll kick yourself on that one. I think it's Bournemouth anyway. I'm
You're like,
pretty
yeah, it's
sure it is.
obvious. Chelsea.
And I think it was Chelsea. This is
You
where
know what?
my knowledge could be bad.
Do you know what? I can't remember any others. Oh,
The
actually, did John Moncourt and his son play? Because they were West Ham too.
John Moncon, no. That one's not
Damn,
on here.
I thought John Moncourt would have been a great one because he played for West Ham. His son was there, but his son's just recently joined
Yeah.
Southend United.
You've been shooting them down, and that might be a clue. but one of them. Pew
Oh,
pew.
oh yeah, it is actually. It's Angus Gunn and Thingy Gunn.
Brian Gunn.
Brian Gunn, yeah, that's Brian Gunn's the father. Angus is the sibling, the son.
Yep.
Angus played for Norwich, and he played in the Euros recently for Scotland when they shipped 5, and people said he was shite.
Yeah.
He had that really bad game for Southampton when they shipped 9 at Leicester, and then he basically didn't play for Southampton
Oh
again.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, Phil Neville's are just the brothers. They weren't actually. I don't think their father played. He definitely didn't play at the Premier League.
One of them's a oh god, this might make me sound a really bad fan, but I think he was an Arsenal player.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I'm sure he was. And I think maybe he played for. Oh, did he play for Nottingham Forest? Maybe. Oof.
Oh, Kevin Campbell,
Yeah.
Tyrese Campbell.
Yep.
Tyrese though probably only made like a handful of appearances.
Tyrese 4. Only
Yeah,
4. Yep.
and Kevin passed away a couple months ago, unfortunately,
Oh yeah.
because he used to do.
One's a Chelsea player. The father's a
I mean,
Chelsea player.
there's so many Chelsea players nowadays that they signed. It's erased all my memory of Chelsea players from before. I know if Lampard wouldn't count because he's Lampard Senior didn't play in the Premier League.
Yeah,
It's Stuart Ripley
there was one I got, but it was two. It was pre-Premier League. So I think Oxlade-Chamberlain could have been one.
Yeah, yeah, and his father played for Thingy.
Yeah,
Is Stuart Ripley one because his son plays football, I believe, or he did.
Stuart Ripley. No,
Yeah,
no.
it's definitely not Matt Letizia because his son is an OnlyFans celebrity.
Yeah.
Um,
One would be good in horse racing.
oh, Justin and Patrick Kluivert definitely.
Yep, that was the Chelsea Bournemouth one, if I got it right.
Uh,
Clivert
Patrick
played for
Kluivert.
Chelsea.
No, Patrick Kluivert played for Newcastle.
Oh
Justin
yeah,
plays for Bournemouth.
I got
He
Bournemouth
might have
right.
played for Chelsea. I don't think so.
Problem with Chelsea having too many players, I just assumed Clivert went to Chelsea, but yeah, it was Newcastle, wasn't
Yes, it was
it?
under Rude Hullet and I believe Kevin Keegan.
Yeah. Oh,
That's it.
one of the sons is a Tottenham player, so you should be able to get that one.
Currently,
Yep, current Tottenham player.
you know. Oh no, I'm not going to remember this. Running through players, running through players.
Although his dad only had 14 appearances, so that'd be a tough one.
Be a tough one. It won't be them. If he a midfielder?
Is he a midfielder? Yeah, he's a midfielder.
Yeah, I thought it might be a midfielder.
Attacking,
So,
attacking midfielder.
oh, of course it is. Fuck's sake, it's David Johnson and Brennan Johnson. David Johnson played for Ipswich and he had to retire. He had
Yep.
to retire. We spoke about him before on this because he had to retire because of this problem that we've got.
Ah, there you go. Yep.
That's it. I think I'm out. I think I'm definitely out now.
Right, I'll show you him. You've not missed that many though. I've put stars
Oh,
next to the one you got.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Who
so the
did
ones
I
you
miss?
missed out: Gus Poyet and
Gus Poyet.
Diego Poyet.
Oh, did Diego Poyet play in the Premier League?
Only 3 appearances.
No.
Yeah. David Hurst and George Hurst.
Yeah. I don't know who George Hurst played for, but David was Sheffield Wednesday, right? Maybe
Yeah, maybe.
yeah, David Hurst was Sheffield Wednesday in the 90s. Oh, Paul
Okay.
Furlong and Darnell Furlong. I should have got that.
I tried to
Paul
help you there.
Furlong
I
was
gave you a clue on that
QPR.
one. Said horse
Yeah,
racing.
Darnell played for West Brom.
Right. Yep.
That's the other West Ham one. Fuck's sake, Alvin Martin.
Mm-hmm.
Alvin Martin and David Martin. I definitely wouldn't have got the John Ola Helder one though, and Leo Helder.
No. Yeah, that's a tough one. That is.
Helder is
Yeah.
like 80s, late 80s football, and I was like 4,
Yeah.
not into football at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did all right.
You did
I'll
all
take
right.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. That was
I didn't
very
even
good.
realize Diego Poyet played in the thingy. I didn't
No.
get Rory Delap though. I should have got
Nah.
Rory.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Phillips and Big Nat Phillips.
Mm.
What do you know?
There you go.
And the Cresswells. Richard Cresswell was Ipswich, and I think Charlie Cresswell is Leeds, or he was Leeds.
Yeah, that rings a bell. Yeah.
Richard Cresswell being Ipswich of the 2000s when they qualified for
Ah.
Europe.
Ah. There you go.
See, it's hard to remember stuff like that. Some of them just stick, and then some of them sort of just wander off. Like Chelsea ones, it's just impossible now. They sound like 50 players a year.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't help
Um,
when I tell you it's a Chelsea player and it's not. So.
no, that's why I didn't get Cliver at thingy. That one
Yeah.
came to me organically, if you will.
Yeah.
No, I'm having enough of that.
Yeah.
I probably saw a few too many times. I'm trying to wrap my own old aged
I
memory.
didn't try for too long when I got this, but I got the Smichaels, Ian Wright, and I think that's about it. That's all I got. Oh, did I get
Hi,
Clivert? I might have got Clivert.
there you go.
Oh, and I got Haaland. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, Alfie Inga is easy enough to get because obviously
Yeah.
everyone remembers Roy Keane basically battering him.
Yeah. So that is probably the most obvious one, and the Smichael. Yeah. Basically,
Yeah,
I wouldn't have done very good on pointless, but you might have done alright. You
I
probably
might have
would have
done all
got a
right.
pointless answer.
Yeah, I would have got Potts. I think Potts might have been. I
Mm.
didn't get Lee Clark though, but the Steve Bruce and the Alex Bruce one, that's not bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good.
And Kevin Campbell and Tyrese Campbell. Tyrese plays for Stoke at the moment.
Yeah.
He's quite good there. He might move on deadline day. You never know.
Mm. Yeah.
And Ian Wright's grandson, I think, still is in that same Stoke team.
Oh, really? Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Mm.
Jamal? I think it might be Jamal Wright Phillips.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to have to see that now to make sure I'm not making that up.
Need to bottle some of their DNA, I reckon.
Yeah, well,
Seems,
it's
seems to be seems to be good.
yeah, good family, isn't it? They all
Yeah.
wanted to emulate of a son.
Yeah. Yeah.
But DiMaggio, sorry. DiMaggio Wright Phillips, which is a weird name. I don't know why I got Jamal. I think I'm probably thinking of Jamal Rice Campbell. I'm shocking with double barrel names or triple barrel names. But yeah, DiMaggio Wright Phillips. He left Stoke apparently this summer. He plays in Belgium at the moment.
Oh.
That's weird. That's a weird career trajectory, but fair play to him.
Mm. Yep. Yep. Right. Right. We should probably move on. Finish up. Look at our FPL4.
Check him out. I must have been reasonably okay this week because I had the man who got a hat trick.
Yeah, so last week you got a score of 27, I got a score of 16. But yeah, you had Haaland, who got you 17 points.
Hell
And,
yeah, I knew he would.
and my top scorer was Robinson with 7. So yeah.
That's not great.
No, but I still managed to get 16. I think my goalie was good, but my midfield and forward were bad. Bernardo Silva and Chris Wood. So
Yeah, well, they had enough shots, so you were right in a sense. Just they weren't
yeah,
able to finish them.
yeah. So yeah, a bit unfortunate, but yeah, but I'm still just ahead of you with the season score. I'm on 54 and you're on 49.
Ooh, tight as
So
a
that's
thingy now.
close. Yeah.
Bringing it back.
Yep. So got to see how we can do this week. Goalies, you've gone for Martinez and I've gone for Flecken. Defense, you've gone Robertson, I've gone Vardiol. Midfield, you've gone Palmer, and I've gone Joe Linton. And forward, you've gone Havertz, and I've gone Jackson.
Nicola Jackson might be his last game as Chelsea's #1 striker if they sign Osserman.
Yeah. I didn't love putting Jackson in, and Palmer would have been tempted, but I had to go Joe Linton. Joe Linton against Tottenham. He always scores against Tottenham.
I mean, yeah, it'd be ridiculous not to, and I'm annoyed with myself for forgetting.
Yeah. Yeah, I remembered this time, and I was like, oh, I've got to put him in. He always scores against Tottenham, so
yeah. He's going to be the only guy who finishes his Premier League career with about 12 goals, and like 9 of them are against Tottenham.
Yeah.
And the other 3 were accidental.
He scored game we won, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
Whoever they played, I can't remember who they played now. But only 2 game weeks ago. But
yeah, that memory of yours is doing well, isn't it?
It's not great. Yeah. So, and I think he nearly scored last week. He had a good chance. So he's in form.
He did, but he should have been sent off last week as well.
True. Yeah. He probably should have been.
Deliberate fouls go, hooking a goalkeeper around the neck and fucking lobbing him to the ground.
Yeah.
Horse collaring, if you will. It seemed pretty deliberate and intent.
Yeah. It's very much on the edge, that one. So
it's on the edge, but it was pretty nasty and thingy.
Yeah. But we've both gone for Chelsea players. But yeah, Palmer, probably a good shout. 17 points last week. So.
Well, I mean, if I can't or I'm not going to get him in my team, I might as well chuck him in this for the funsies, all right, and see what I get. They're against Palace, who are not doing great. A bit wobbly, if you will. So it's a gamble worth taking, I figured.
And
why not, And then when it comes to Havertz, he has been exceptional again, and it's covered over the fact that I think it's Gabriel Jesus is injured, or he picked up an injury recently.
He was fit. He was playing pre-season, so I just assumed Havertz keeping him out, but maybe he's injured again.
No, there's an injury.
Because Jesus was in my first draft because he'd had a good pre-season. I thought, I reckon he's going to play, but I'm glad I changed my mind on that one. But,
a good pre-season. I think he probably might have started, but it just.
But then Havertz had a good pre-season as well, so so they were both doing well. So I just assumed Havertz had got the nod over Jesus, but he's not come on, so probably is injured.
It's just that's the last thing I read, to be honest. So, and then the other thing I read that I'm sure you haven't heard because you would have been as irritable and angry as I was, although on different matters today, is that Arsenal are in for Darwin Núñez.
Oh, God.
That's not even a joke. That is the rumor that seems to be surfacing around. That Liverpool.
Although, do you know what? He's done a few transfers like that. Like Havertz wasn't exactly one that I went, "Oh, that's really good," but he's turned out all right. So
it's been fine.
And Darwin has got that potential, so he could be good.
He just needs to score.
So I wouldn't be totally against it if we did bring him in. I think he could be good.
Just depends on the money, right? Because
I think that would excite me. I'd be like, cool.
Well, it would be an exciting deadline day transfer. It's a big move. So it's there. Arsenal made some money. Apparently, the Ramsdale transfer has been held up. I've just read it into Arsenal secure a replacement because they're having a nightmare. They wanted the Espanyol goalkeeper, but Espanyol said they wouldn't sell him unless Arsenal pay 30 million, which they're not prepared to do. And then I think they moved for It might have been Daniel Bentley of Wolves, who's the
Mhm.
ex-Southend goalkeeper, and apparently they've been knocked back there.
Mm.
And if they can't get Neto from Bournemouth, maybe Ramsdale doesn't get to go, which is bad because the amount of press that's been done today about Ramsdale being at the playoff final. He went to the playoff final dressed as Hagrid from Harry Potter, I think it was.
Oh yeah, I see that. Yeah,
So
yeah.
quite fun. Not going to be fun though if he doesn't get his move. And the other thing that I could say the stat about that is if he does go there and they get relegated, that'll be what 3 relegations in 5 years.
Oh
Someone
god.
it'll start to be
Yeah.
seen as like a bit of a as a bad luck charm if he keeps that up.
Mm. Mm.
Took Sheffield United and Bournemouth down already. So and they were saying that the one of the reasons his career may have tanked was because I think he did an interview where he said that he can't stay fully concentrated for 90 minutes on playing football. So and he gets distracted by birds when they're playing. So it's like if that's really killed his career at Arsenal, that's why they went and got Raya. Then Jesus, that's harsh.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's not a great
But
thing to say
no, it
when
probably
you're a
didn't help.
professional.
But
No, it's not helped Tony saying that he wanted to move on. Clearly, he's not. He's been
mm,
seen as a bad apple now, and he hasn't got his move either. So,
yeah,
but
no,
other than
it's
that,
a weird one with Tony. But
well,
yeah,
they must see him as disruptive, and the fact that
mm,
he's going to be 29 and he's just not worth whatever Brentford are asking.
yeah, I guess. Yeah.
The other thing is the only other last little stat I've got, and I've already posted it, is that if the window shuts and Tottenham don't sign any more players and everyone stays as the current number they are for the first time in Tottenham's history, we won't have a player between that will have the squad number 2, 3, 4, or 5.
Mm.
That's weird.
It's a bit weird.
Our
Yeah.
our lowest number would be squad number 6, and that's Dragusin.
Yeah, blimey.
Dragusin, then Son, who 7, and I don't think we've got number 8. And then I know we do. We have Zuma. So yeah, but
Mm.
2 to 5 completely empty.
No,
So
no, nobody wants those numbers, I don't know.
well, as a defensive man myself, I wouldn't have minded someone to take that number, so I could have a number 2 shirt because I
Mm.
quite like players wearing number 2, the same position I play. Number 3 at push. Instead, I've had to get a Mickey Van der Ven shirt that's number 37. So
Yeah. Yeah.
a Mickey Van der Ven and a Dominic Solanke shirts from the Tottenham Green Thirds
Oh,
kits that come out
well,
this week.
it's not like the good old days, 1 to 11. That's it. Keep
1
it
to 11.
simple.
Some people do, and when teams do 1 to 11 now, it's so rare that someone on Facebook or Twitter usually posts and goes, "Christ, you won't believe this! The whole starting lineup is number 1 to
One to
11,"
11,
and
yeah.
they're like, "Nah, come on," and they're like, "You know, look, check." And you're like, "Oh, you son of a bitch, you're right."
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
Because
that's it. I'm out of stats. I'm out of
they're
facts.
they're all prima donnas and they all have special numbers now. Unbelievable.
Well, you say that, but I had a lucky number 21, and that's what I used to play in. So
Yeah.
there's just reasons for it. Sometimes sometimes it's not. Sometimes they just players join a club and they go, right, you have to be number 42, and they go, oh, son of a bitch, and then after that they go, well, I don't want to be anything other than 42 now because that's how I got my good start. So
My lucky number was 9, so mine was more sensible, but I definitely wasn't a 9. So,
no, exactly. See,
although
21.
my backup would be 4, so 4's sensible
There you
for
go.
my kind of position. So,
Maybe, yeah.
yeah,
There you go. Toby Alderweireld's number.
there you go. Yeah.
Can't go fairer than that.
No,
So yeah, there you go. That's
okay.
my little stats and facts for the week.
Right, very good.
Tottenham's new green shirt came out. I guessed some of the older father son duos, and
Did.
yeah,
Yeah, did well. Yeah.
yeah. Thanks very much.
But yeah. Right, well, on that note, we'll wrap it up there then.
Wrap up and wrap it in.
Yeah, thanks everyone for listening. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Average FPNers. And if you want to join our mini league, the code is SJBCYQ. Yeah, we'll be back now after the international break. Hopefully, although I am going on holiday, so God knows what's going to happen, but we'll see.
You're going to do it through America. Come on.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm sure we'll be back. So yeah, we'll see you then. Bye bye.
Ta-ra.